Minho walked through the long halls of the Galactic Council building. His black shoes made soft sounds on the smooth floor. Behind him, 3 other humans followed. They all wore dark blue uniforms with small Earth flags on their shoulders. The building was huge. It floated in space between 3 stars. The walls were made of some kind of clear material that showed the stars outside. Alien beings moved through the halls. Some looked like walking crystals. Others were covered in shiny metal. A few seemed to be made of pure light. Soo-young walked next to Minho. She was his main helper and knew about military things. Her eyes watched everything. She had been a soldier before becoming a diplomat. She did not trust the aliens, and today she felt more worried than usual. "They are planning something bad," she said quietly to Minho. "Look how they stare at us." Minho nodded but said nothing. He had been Earth's main speaker to the aliens for 3 years. In that time, things had gotten worse and worse for humans. The aliens made more rules. They took more things from human worlds. They acted like humans were children who needed to be controlled. Ji-won walked behind them. She spoke for all the human colonies in space. Millions of people lived on those worlds now. They had built cities and farms far from Earth. They had made new lives among the stars. Today, Ji-won felt sick in her stomach. She knew something terrible was coming. The 4th human was Taewon. He was young and smart. He kept track of all the alien laws and rules. His job was to find ways around the aliens' tricks. But lately, the aliens made rules faster than humans could understand them. They reached the big meeting room. The door was as tall as 3 people. It opened without sound. Inside, the room was round and huge. Seats went up in circles like steps. Most seats held alien beings. At the bottom center stood a tall platform made of blue crystal. On it sat Tae-hyun, the main speaker for the Valthun people. The Valthuns looked like walking diamonds. Light moved through their bodies in strange colors. They were very old and thought they were very wise. "Humans of Earth." Tae-hyun's voice came from everywhere, at once. It sounded like breaking glass. "You will sit in the low seats." Minho looked at the seats Tae-hyun pointed to. They were on the floor, lower than all the aliens. For 3 years, humans had sat in those low seats. Today felt different. Today felt like the end of something. The humans sat down. Around them, hundreds of alien eyes watched. Some aliens whispered to each other in sounds humans could not understand. Others stayed silent, but their bodies showed they were excited. Soo-young looked around the room. She saw the Krolix beings in one section. They looked like giant bugs, but with 10 arms each. Their minds were all connected. When one thought something, they all knew it. She saw the Nethri in another section. They were beings made of pure energy that floated in clear containers. "Today we decide the future," Tae-hyun said. "For too long, humans have been a problem. You grow too fast. You build too many things. You ask too many questions. You do not follow orders well." Ji-won felt her hands close into fists. She wanted to stand up and shout, but Minho had told them all to stay calm no matter what happened. "Humans think they are special," continued Tae-hyun. "You think you can do whatever you want, but the galaxy has rules. We have kept peace for 50,000 years. We know what is best." A Krolix being spoke next. Its voice sounded like many people talking at the same time. "Humans make other young. Species think wrong thoughts. They teach independence, they teach rebellion. This cannot continue." Then a Nethri spoke. Its voice was like music made of electricity. "Human colonies grow too fast. They take resources that should go to older, wiser species. They must be controlled." Tae-hyun stood up. Light flowed through his crystal body faster now. "We have decided. Humans will give up all colony worlds beyond your home system. You will accept protective status under Valthun guidance. We will choose your leaders. We will control your trade. We will decide where you can go and what you can do." The room became very quiet. Minho felt his heart beat faster. This was worse than he had feared. They wanted to make humans into slaves. "You have many weapons," Tae-hyun said. Too many. You will give them all to us. Your spaceships will have Velthon observers on them. Your scientists will share all their discoveries with us. Your soldiers will serve under our command. Su-Young's face became red with anger. She had fought in the colony wars. She had seen human soldiers die to protect their freedom. Now these aliens wanted to take it all away. This is for your own good, Taehyun said. Humans are like children. Children need adults to guide them. We are those adults. We know better than you what you need. Jiwon thought about the farmers on New Seoul. They had worked so hard to make crops grow on that dry world. She thought about the miners on Busan Station who dug metals from dangerous asteroids. She thought about the children born on those worlds who had never seen Earth. Would they all become slaves? You will have one solar cycle to accept, Taehyun said. That is 30 Earth days. If you refuse, we will stop all trade with human worlds. We will block your spaceships from traveling. If you still refuse after that, we will use our fleets to force you. The other aliens made sounds of agreement. Some clicked their teeth, others flashed lights. The Krolix hummed together like one giant machine. Minho stood up slowly. All eyes turned to him. We request time to consider your proposal, he said. His voice was calm, but Su-Young could see his hands shaking. You may go, Taehyun said. But remember, this is not a negotiation. This is an order. You will obey or you will suffer. The humans walked out of the meeting room. Nobody spoke until they reached their small ship. Once inside, with the doors closed, Taewon hit the wall with his fist. They want to destroy us, he said. They want to own us, Jiwon said. Like pets. Su-Young looked out the window at the stars. Maybe it is time to show them what humans really are. Minho sat down heavily in his chair. He thought about Earth, green and blue and beautiful. He thought about the colonies, full of people who trusted him to protect them. He thought about human children who would grow up as slaves if he made the wrong choice. Send a message to Earth, he said to Taewon. Tell them we need to talk to everyone. The President, the Colonial Council, the Fleet Command, everyone. What will you tell them? Su-Young asked. Minho looked at his friends. These good people who had worked so hard for peace. I will tell them the truth. The aliens do not want peace. They want surrender. And humans do not surrender. Outside their ship, the Galactic Council building floated in space, full of aliens who thought they had won. They did not know that they had just made the biggest mistake in the history of the galaxy. The human embassy was quiet. Too quiet. Minho sat at a long table with his team. On the wall, a big screen showed Earth. It was night there, but the lights of cities made the planet glow like a jewel. Su-Young paced back and forth near the window. She could not sit still. Every few minutes, she looked out at the alien ships floating nearby. Some of them had weapons pointed at the human embassy. They are watching us, she said. Waiting to see what we do. Hyunwoo sat across from Minho. He was the trade minister. His job was to make sure humans could buy and sell things with the aliens. His hands shook as he held a data pad. Look at these numbers, Hyunwoo said. 60% of our medical supplies come from alien worlds. Our fastest spaceships use alien technology. If they stop trading with us, people will die. Jiwon slammed her hand on the table. People will die anyway if we become their slaves. Taewon was working at 3 computers at once. Information flowed across the screens too fast for normal people to read. But Taewon was not normal. His brain worked like a computer. I have been checking their laws, he said. If we accept their offer, we can never change our minds. Once we become a protected species, we stay that way forever. The screen on the wall changed. Now it showed President Sunho sitting in his office, on Earth. Behind him stood other important people from human worlds. Minho, the president said. Tell me everything. Minho explained what happened in the council meeting. He told them about the ultimatum. He told them about the threats. When he finished, the room was silent for a long time. How long do we have? Asked Yoonji. She spoke for Earth's government. She was small and looked gentle. But Minho knew she was tougher than steel. 30 days, Minho said. And if we refuse? First, they stop all trade. Then they block our ships from traveling. Then they attack us. Dongyun appeared on another part of the screen. He was a fleet commander, speaking from a warship orbiting Earth. His uniform was covered with medals from the colony wars. What are our chances in a fight? President Sunho asked him. Dongyun thought for a moment. Their ships are bigger and stronger. They have weapons we do not understand. But they fight like they think, slowly, carefully, by rules. And we do not fight by rules, Suyong said with a smile. Exactly, Dongyun said. Humans are good at surprising enemies. We are good at doing impossible things. Hyunwoo shook his head. Even if we could win a war, millions would die. And for what? Pride? For freedom, Jiwon said. For the right to make our own choices. Freedom does not feed hungry children, Hyunwoo said. Slavery does not either, Yoonji said from Earth. I have read the reports from other species that accepted protection. They become pets. Their best people are taken away to serve alien masters. Their worlds are stripped of resources. Their children are taught to hate their own kind. Ariam spoke for the first time. She was the chief scientist for all human space projects. She was also very quiet and very smart. There is something you should know, she said. We have been working on new technology, secretly, for 10 years. Everyone looked at her. Even on Earth, President Sunho leaned forward. What kind of technology? Minho asked. Quantum manipulation, void space travel, energy shields that can stop anything, and other things I cannot talk about here. She looked at the walls. Everyone knew the aliens were probably listening. How advanced? Dongyun asked. Advanced enough, Ariam said. Advanced enough to change everything. Why did you not tell us before? Minho asked. Because we knew this day would come, Ariam said. We have been preparing for it. Soo-young stopped, pacing. You mean we have been planning to leave the council? Some of us have been planning for the possibility, Ariam said. Others have been hoping it would not be necessary. President Sunho spoke from Earth. How many people know about this? A few hundred scientists, a few dozen military leaders, some colonial governors. Everyone signed agreements to keep it secret. Can we really do it? Yoonji asked. Can we survive without them? Better than they can survive without us, Ariam said. We have been studying their technology while they ignored ours. We have been building hidden bases while they watched our public ones. We have been preparing supply lines while they thought we depended on theirs. Taewon looked up from his computers. She is right. I have been tracking resource flows for 3 years. Humans provide more to the galactic economy than we take. Much more. What do you mean? Hyunwoo asked. Human engineers maintain their quantum communication networks. Human doctors treat diseases their medicine cannot cure. Human traders connect species that refuse to talk to each other directly. Human scientists solve problems their experts cannot understand. You are saying they need us more than we need them? Minho asked. I am saying they have forgotten how to do things humans do for them every day. The room was quiet again. Everyone was thinking. On Earth, President Sunho was talking quietly with his advisors. There is another thing, Ariam said. We are not the only species that wants to be free. Some of the younger alien species have been asking questions. They want to know why humans are so creative, why we solve problems so fast, why we never give up. You think they might join us? Soo-young asked. I think some of them are tired of being ruled by the old species too. President Sunho spoke again. I have talked with the Colonial Council and Fleet Command. We are going to vote. Every human world gets 1 vote. Every space station gets 1 vote. Earth gets 1 vote. How long will that take? Minho asked. 6 hours. We have been preparing for this vote for 3 years. Everyone knows what they want to say. The screen went dark. The humans in the embassy looked at each other. In 6 hours, they would know if humanity would fight for freedom or accept slavery. Jiwan walked to the window. Outside, alien ships moved, through space. "Do you think they know?" she asked. "Know what?" Minho said. "That they just made the worst mistake in galactic history." Soo-young smiled. "They think humans are weak because we try to avoid fighting. They do not understand that we only fight when we have to. And when we have to fight, we do not stop until we win. Or until we die trying," Taewon added. "We will not die," Ariam said quietly. "We have been planning too long and too carefully to die." 6 hours later, the screen lit up again. President Sunho looked tired, but his eyes were bright. "The vote is finished," he said. 412 human settlements voted. The result was unanimous. Minho felt his heart jump. Unanimous? Every single vote was the same. Humans do not accept slavery. We will be free, or we will make the galaxy burn trying. Soo-young punched the air with her fist. Jiwon started crying with joy. Taewon grinned like a child. Even quiet Ariam smiled. "What do we do now?" Minho asked. "Now you go back to the council and give them our answer, President," Sunho said. "And then we show the galaxy what humans really are." Minho stood in the council chamber again. This time he was not nervous. This time he knew exactly what to say. Behind him, Soo-young, Jiwon, and Taewon stood straight and proud. The alien beings filled their seats as before. Taehyun sat on his crystal platform, light flowing through his body. He looked very pleased with himself. He thought humans would surrender. "You have had time to think," Taehyun said. "What is your answer?" Minho stepped forward. His voice was clear and strong. "Humanity thanks the Galactic Council for their offer. We decline." The room became very quiet. Then it exploded with noise. Aliens clicked and buzzed and flashed lights. Some stood up from their seats. Others made sounds like screaming. Taehyun held up his hand. The noise stopped. "You refuse our protection?" "We refuse slavery," Minho said. "Humanity withdraws from all council agreements. We withdraw from all trade deals. We withdraw from all defense pacts. Starting now, human space is closed to all alien ships." "You cannot do this," Taehyun's voice cracked like breaking glass. "No species has ever left the council." "Then we are the first," Minho said. "Good day." The humans turned and walked out. Behind them, the council chamber erupted in chaos again. Aliens shouted at each other in dozens of languages. Some demanded war, others demanded negotiations. All of them were afraid. In space around the council station, human ships were already moving. Minji coordinated the evacuation from the embassy ship. She had lists of every human in alien space: merchants, diplomats, scientists, tourists, students. Everyone had to leave. "Transport Ship 7, you have 43 humans on Station Krell 9, she said into her communicator. "Pick them up and head for the border." "Medical Ship 2, there are 15 humans in the hospital on Vaelton Prime. Get them out now." Cargo. "Ship 15, forget the trade goods. Get our people and go." It was like a giant puzzle. Hundreds of human ships moving to hundreds of alien worlds. They had 72 hours to get everyone out before the aliens realized what was happening. Junho led the merchant fleet. His ships carried more than goods. They carried knowledge. Human engineers who kept alien machines working. Human doctors who treated alien diseases. Human traders who knew how to talk to every species in the galaxy. "All ships, this is Junho," he said on the radio. "Take everything. Take your tools, your computers, your medical supplies. Take the plans and the passwords, and the instruction manuals. If humans built it or fixed it or improved it, take it with you." On the intelligence ship Silent Running, Yuna watched alien communications. Her job was to listen to what the aliens said to each other when they thought humans could not hear. The aliens were starting to panic. "The quantum relay on Krolik 7 just stopped working," she heard a Krolik say. "The human engineer is gone." "Our power grid is failing," said a Vaelton. "Where is the human maintenance team?" "The trade routes to the outer systems are broken," said a Nethri. Human merchants handled all the translations between species. Yuna smiled. Humans had become so useful that aliens forgot how things worked before humans arrived. They were about to remember. On the space station called New Jeju, Wonchik was packing the last human equipment. He managed all the human businesses in alien space. Banks, factories, communication networks, everything humans had built in 50 years. Delete everything, he told his team. Wipe the computers. Take the key codes. Make sure they cannot use any of our systems without us. What about the aliens who work for us? Asked his assistant. Pay them what we owe them and say goodbye. They chose to work for aliens instead of coming with us. Around the galaxy, the great human exodus was happening. Families who had lived on alien worlds for generations packed their most important things. Children said goodbye to alien friends. Old people took one last look at the places. They called home, but they all left. Every single human chose freedom over comfort. Daeho commanded the military escort ships. His job was to make sure the evacuation ships reached human space safely. Some aliens tried to stop them. Human ship Busan Hope, this is Velton Patrol. Vessel, came a message. You are carrying stolen technology. Prepare to be boarded. This is escort ship Tiger Strike, Daeho replied. The technology belongs to the humans who built it. Any attempt to board will be considered an act of war. The Velton ship backed away. It was one thing to threaten humans in a council meeting. It was another thing to start shooting at human warships. On Earth, President Sunho watched reports from around the galaxy. Human ships were leaving alien space like a great river flowing toward home. Some carried thousands of people. Others carried just a few families. All of them carried the message that humans would not be slaves. How many are we losing? He asked Yunji. About 2 million people are coming home from alien space. But we are gaining something more important. What? Our self-respect. In the council chambers, the aliens were discovering the truth. Taehyun called emergency meetings every few hours, but every meeting brought worse news. The humans controlled 40% of our trade networks, reported a Krolix official. Without them, we cannot move goods between systems. Human medical knowledge saved millions of our people every year, said a Nethri doctor. Our own medicine cannot treat the diseases they cured. Human engineers built most of our quantum communication systems, said a Velton technician. We know how to use them, but we do not know how to fix them. The worst news came from the younger alien species, the ones who were not on the council, but had to follow council rules. The Zephyrians are asking questions, reported a council spy. They want to know why humans could leave, but they cannot. The Mollusk Collective is refusing to pay tribute. They say if humans do not have to obey the council, neither do they. 3 minor species have stopped sending representatives to council meetings. They say the council failed to keep the peace. Taehyun's crystal body flashed with angry colors. Send our fleets to human space, bring them back by force. Which fleets? Asked a Krolix general. The ones that depend on human-maintained navigation systems? The ones with human-designed weapons? The ones commanded by officers trained in human military academies? For the first time in 50,000 years, the Galactic Council faced a problem they could not solve by making laws. Humans were gone, and without humans nothing worked the way it used to. On the last human ship leaving alien space, Minho looked back at the council station. It was still there, still floating between the 3 stars. But already it looked smaller, less important. Any regrets? So-young asked him. Only one, Minho said. I regret that we waited so long to do this. Jiwon joined them at the window. What do you think they will do now? They will try to force us to come back, Minho said. They will threaten us and attack us and try to make us afraid. And when that does not work, then they will learn that the galaxy is bigger than they thought, and that humans are stronger than they imagined. Behind them, the council station grew smaller and smaller until it was just another star in the darkness. Ahead of them lay human space and freedom, and a future that nobody could predict. The great exodus was complete. For the first time in galactic history, an entire species had simply walked away from the Council's authority. The aliens who remained behind were about to discover what the galaxy looked like without humans to keep it running. It was not going to be pretty. 6 months had passed since humans left alien space. Wanho sat in the command center of Deepwatch Station, hidden in the dark between stars. His job was to watch what happened to the aliens after humans left. What he saw made him almost feel sorry for them. Almost. The screens around him showed chaos across the galaxy. Alien civilizations that had been stable for thousands of years were falling apart. Trade routes that had worked for centuries were broken. Technologies that aliens used every day had stopped working. "Sir," said his assistant Kyongmi, "the Krolix, hive mind on System 7 just went dark. That makes 12 hive worlds that have lost contact with their central mind." Wanho nodded. The Krolix were like a giant computer made of billions of bug-like aliens. Each hive world was like one part of a huge brain, but the connections between worlds depended on quantum communication networks that humans had built and maintained. Without humans to fix the networks when they broke, the Krolix were becoming stupid. Each hive world was turning back into a simple, primitive group of bugs that only cared about finding food and defending territory. "What about the Velthons?" Wanho asked. "Their crystal cities are having power problems," Kyongmi said. "The energy grids were designed by human engineers. Without maintenance, they are failing. Some cities have already gone dark. And the Nethri? They are fighting each other. Without human mediators to help them communicate, different energy collectives cannot work together. 3 civil wars have started in Nethri space." Wanho looked at another screen. It showed the HFY trade networks that connected thousands of alien worlds. Before humans left, the networks looked like a beautiful web of light connecting every system. Now they looked like broken pieces scattered across space. "Any word from the Council?" Wanho asked. "They are meeting every day now, sometimes twice a day, but they cannot agree on anything." Far away, on the hidden world called Haven, Seokjin read reports from human spies still operating in alien space. Haven was humanity's new capital, built in secret over 20 years. The aliens did not even know it existed. The reports told an amazing story. For 50,000 years, the Galactic Council had ruled by making other species depend on them. But somewhere along the way, they had started depending on humans instead. Now humans were gone, and the Council did not know how to run a galaxy anymore. "Look at this," Seokjin said to his staff. "The Veltons are trying to recruit new engineers from the younger species. But those species learned engineering from humans. Their methods do not work with Velton technology." "What about?" the Krolix asked his aide Minji. "They are trying to rebuild their communication networks, but they are using their old designs from before humans came. The networks are thousands of times slower and keep breaking down." "And the Nethri?" "They are asking every species they know for help with translation and diplomacy. But humans were the only species that could talk to everyone. Nobody else knows how to negotiate between beings made of light and beings made of crystal and beings made of metal." The most interesting reports came from Nari and her team of intelligence agents. They moved through alien space in secret, watching and listening and sometimes making contact with aliens who missed working with humans. "The younger species are getting brave," Nari reported from a hidden location. "The Mollusk Collective formally left the Council yesterday. The Spiral Shell Federation is talking about independence. Even some of the older species are asking why they need the Council at all." "What are the Council species doing about it?" Seokjin asked. "Panicking. They tried to send a fleet to force the Mollusk Collective back into the Council. But half their ships broke down on the way because human-maintained systems failed. They tried to negotiate with the Spiral Shell Federation, but they do not have any human diplomats to help with translation. The negotiations turned into shouting matches. They tried to hire new engineers and doctors and traders from non-Council species. But those species are all learning that they do not need the Council either." Back on Deepwatch Station, Wanho received a priority message. It was from Kyungmin, who monitored Council communications from another hidden base. "The Council is falling. Apart from inside, Kyungmin reported. The three main species are blaming each other for the crisis. How bad is it? Wonho asked. The Valthans say the Kroliks should have kept better records of human technology. The Kroliks say the Nethri should have paid more attention to human trade networks. The Nethri say the Valthans should have studied human engineering instead of just using it. Are they talking about war? Not yet. But they are not talking about cooperation either. Wonho smiled. The Great Galactic Council, rulers of the galaxy for 50,000 years, was having arguments like children fighting over toys. The reports kept coming in, each one worse than the last. Alien worlds that had never grown their own food were starving because human agricultural experts were gone. Space stations that had always bought their power from Vailton crystal cities were going dark because the power systems were failing. Medical centers across the galaxy were closing because they could not treat diseases without human doctors. Trade between species was dropping to almost nothing because nobody could replace the human merchants who knew how to talk to everyone. Sir, Kyungmi said, we are getting messages from alien species asking to talk to humans. What kind of messages? Official requests for trade agreements, unofficial requests for medical help, secret requests for military protection, and a lot of messages that just say, please come back. What are our orders about responding? We watch and wait. President Sunho wants to see how bad things get before we decide what to do. On Haven, President Sunho himself was reading similar reports. But he was also reading reports about what humans were doing with their new freedom. Without alien restrictions. Human science was advancing faster than ever before. The secret technologies that Ariam had mentioned were being improved every day. Human colonies were growing and prospering without alien trade. Most importantly, humans were proving that they could survive and thrive without the Council. Every day of independence made them stronger and more confident. The aliens thought we needed them, President Sunho said to his advisors. They thought we would come crawling back as soon as things got difficult. But we have not even noticed they are gone, Yunji said. Our economy is growing. Our people are happy. Our technology is advancing. We are better off without them. What about the messages from alien species asking for help? Asked General Dongyun. We help the ones who ask nicely, President Sunho said, but only as equals. No more of this master and servant relationship. And the Council species. They can ask for help when they are ready to treat humans as equals, instead of pets. Back in alien space, the chaos was getting worse every day. The Valthan crystal cities were dimming as their power systems failed. The Krolix hives were turning primitive as their communication networks collapsed. The Nethri energy collectives were splitting apart as they forgot how to work together. And in the ruins of what used to be the greatest civilization in the galaxy, some aliens were starting to learn an important lesson. They were learning that ruling others was not the same as being strong. They were learning that making others depend on you was not the same as being necessary. They were learning that calling yourself superior was not the same as actually being superior. Most importantly, they were learning that humans had never needed the Council as much as the Council had needed humans. It was a lesson that would change the galaxy forever. 1 year after humans left the Council, Jae-hyun stood on the bridge of the ship New Horizon. Through the big window, he could see a fleet of alien ships waiting peacefully nearby. But these were not the same proud aliens who had demanded human surrender a year ago. Jae-hyun was now the first prime minister of the independent human colonies. It was a new job for a new time. Humans no longer sent ambassadors to beg for permission from alien masters. Now they sent representatives to negotiate as equals. Sir, said his aide Soman, the alien delegates are ready to meet with you. How many species? Jae-hyun asked. 47, including all 3 of the old council species. And they all want the same thing? They all want humans to help fix what broke when we left. Jae-hyun smiled. A year ago, these same aliens had called humans children who needed guidance. Now they were here asking the children to help solve problems the adults could not handle. The meeting room on New Horizon was round, with comfortable chairs arranged in a circle. No high platforms, no low seats. Everyone sat at the same level. That had been Jae-hyun's first rule for the new galaxy. The alien delegates filed in slowly. Taehyun the Velthon looked much dimmer than before. His crystal body barely glowed. Behind him came General Zix of the Krolix, moving stiffly because his hive mind was only half connected. Last came Fluxinger of the Nethri, flickering weakly in her energy container. But there were other aliens too, species that had never been allowed in council meetings before. The Mollusk Collective had sent their first diplomat ever. The Spiral Shell Federation sat next to species that had been enemies for centuries, young races mixed with old ones. "Welcome," Jaehyun said. "Thank you all for coming. I understand you have problems you would like to discuss." Taehyun spoke first. His voice was quiet and humble. "Prime Minister, our crystal cities are failing. Our people are suffering. We need help." "What kind of help?" Jaehyun asked. "Our power systems were designed with human assistance. Without human engineers, we cannot maintain them. Our people are living in darkness and cold." General Zix spoke next. "Our hive minds are fragmenting. The communication networks that connected our worlds were built with human technology. Now our people on different worlds cannot coordinate. Some hives are starving while others have too much food, but they cannot share." Fluxinger's voice was like sad music. "Our energy collectives are at war with each other. Humans taught us how to resolve conflicts peacefully. Without human mediators, we have forgotten how to talk instead of fight." "And what do you offer in return for this help?" Jaehyun asked. The three aliens looked at each other. For 50,000 years they had been the ones demanding tribute from others. Now they were the ones who had to give something to get help. "We offer trade agreements," Taehyun said. "Fair trade, equal trade." "We offer military cooperation," General Zix said, "as allies, not as commanders and servants." "We offer cultural exchange," Fluxinger said. "We want to learn from humans, not just use human skills." But before Jaehyun could answer, a young alien stood up. She was from the Mollusk Collective, one of the species that had left the council after humans did. "Prime Minister," she said in accented but clear human language, "my people have a different offer." "What is that?" Jaehyun asked. "We offer friendship, just friendship. We do not want humans to solve our problems for us. We want to learn how to solve them ourselves. We want to work together, not depend on each other." Around the room, other young species nodded agreement. They had learned something from watching humans leave the council. They had learned that independence was more valuable than protection. Daiho, who was now Human Minister of Defense, spoke from his seat near the window. "The galaxy has changed in the past year. Old alliances have broken. New ones have formed. Some species have learned to be independent. Others are still trying to find new masters. Humans will help any species that asks for help," Jaehyun said. "But we will not do for others what they can learn to do for themselves. And we will never again accept the role of servants or subjects." "What about the council?" Taehyun asked. "Will you rejoin it?" Jaehyun looked around the room at all the different species. Some had been enemies for thousands of years. Some had never met before. All of them were here because the old system of government had failed. "The old council is dead," he said. "It died when humans walked away and half the galaxy followed us. But maybe we can build something new, something better." "What would that look like?" asked the delegate from the Spiral Shell Federation. Borum, the Human Minister of Intelligence, answered, "A confederation of free species. No masters, no servants. Every species has one vote, no matter how old or young, big or small, powerful or weak." "Impossible," General Zix said. "Some species are wiser than others. Some have more experience. And some species," said the mollusk delegate, "have more wisdom than experience teaches." The debates went on for days. The old council species wanted to keep some of their special privileges. The younger species wanted complete equality. Humans wanted a system that protected freedom while encouraging cooperation. Finally, Jaehyun called for a break. He met privately with his human advisors to discuss what they had learned. "The old species are scared," Soman reported. "They have never lived in a galaxy where they were not in control. They do not know how to be just one voice among many. The young species are excited, Deho said. They see this as their chance to have real influence for the first time. And the middle species are confused, Boram added. They do not know who to follow now that the old council is gone. What do you think we should do? Jaehyun asked. We should help them learn, Soman said. Not by telling them what to do, but by showing them how democracy works. When the meetings resumed, Jaehyun made a proposal. Humans will share our technology with any species that wants it, he said. But not as a gift, as an exchange. You teach us something, we teach you something. Humans will provide medical assistance to any species that needs it. But we will also train your own doctors so you do not need us forever. Humans will help mediate disputes between species, but only if both sides agree to accept our help, and only if they promise to learn better ways to solve problems themselves. And humans will join any new galactic government, but only if every member species has equal voice and equal vote. The room was quiet for a long time. Then the mollusk delegate stood up. My people accept these terms, she said. One by one, other species agreed. The Spiral Shell Federation, the Crystal Miners Union, the Garden World Alliance. Species that had been silent for centuries found their voices. Finally, only the 3 old council species remained undecided. This is difficult for us, Taehyun admitted. We have led the galaxy for 50,000 years. To become just one voice among 50 is terrifying, Fluxinger finished. What, if we make the wrong choice? Then you learn from your mistake and make a better choice next time, Jaehyun said. That is how democracy works. That is how freedom works. General Zix looked around the room at all the species that had once been under Krolik's authority. If we say no, what happens to us? Nothing changes, Jaehyun said. You stay isolated in your own space. You solve your own problems. You live or die by your own choices. And if we say yes, then we all work together to build something the galaxy has never seen before. A government based on cooperation instead of domination. A civilization based on freedom instead of control. The 3 old species asked for time to discuss it among themselves. While they talked, something interesting happened. The younger species began making agreements with each other. Trade deals, defense pacts, cultural exchanges. They were building the new galaxy with or without the old council species. When Taehyun, General Zix, and Fluxinger returned, they looked different. Humbler, more thoughtful. We accept, Taehyun said. But we ask for patience as we learn new ways. We all have to learn new ways, Jaehyun said. Humans too. This is new for everyone. 6 months later, the Galactic Confederation held its first election. 57 species each sent 1 representative. The representative from Earth was Yunji, who had helped guide humanity through its darkest hour. The Confederation's first act was to declare that no species could be forced to join, and no species could be prevented from leaving. The second act was to establish trade and cooperation agreements based on mutual benefit rather than tribute. The third act was to set up schools where young beings from all species could learn together. Humans would teach technology and democracy. Other species would teach their own knowledge and wisdom. The galaxy that emerged from the chaos was not perfect. There were still conflicts and problems. Some species chose to remain independent. Others formed their own small alliances. But it was better than what came before. It was a galaxy where strength came from cooperation instead of domination, where wisdom came from sharing knowledge instead of hoarding it, where freedom was more important than security, and at the center of it all were the humans who had walked away from talks and thrown the galaxy into chaos. But sometimes, Jaehyun thought as he watched alien children playing with human children in the Confederation schools, chaos was just another word for opportunity. The galaxy had learned that sometimes the best way to fix something broken was to start over completely.